Batman, Arkham Asylum, Part 3, Fear Factory. Well, it was an early March night at Arkham Asylum, and the Joker has let out all the crazies, and now Batman's frantically trying to stop him. Well, after following the trails to a dead Frank Bowles, Batman was stuck and he had to find another way to escape, and indeed he did. Now he had emerged by Arkham Mansion, and he sees several of the guards scattered about with their rifles ready to take on any of the crazies or the Blackgate prisoners that escaped. Well, Batman glides down to the lower levels where one of the guards says, "My God, Batman. Oh, thank God. You're here. I don't know what the hell's going on. We just got the alert, and there's just chaos all over the island." Batman asks the guard,
Have you seen or heard anything about the commissioner?
The guard says to Batman, "No, Batman, haven't seen or heard anything about the commissioner. This part of the island's luckily been quiet so far. I don't know for how long, though," said the guard. Suddenly, Batman hears the chime and a familiar voice.
Hello? Any of you psychos out there that are not busy causing chaos, Batman's car is parked at Arkham North. Can you please get rid of it for me? I would really appreciate that. Thank you.
Then Batman hears a beep in his cowl and the alarm that someone's messing with his car. Then he gets on his communicator and says to Oracle,
Oracle, disable the car security system. If the commissioner's with them, I don't want him to get hurt.
Oracle says, "Can do, Batman," and she deactivates the car security system, and she says to Batman, "It's been done, Batman." Batman then runs to the gate. As he approaches the gate opens up to Arkham North. But the passage to Arkham North was blocked. There was an ambulance parked there blocking the way, and a dead guard and another guard taking cover behind the ambulance. He was frightened by Batman. After he got over his brief fright, he says to Batman, "It's two of the Joker's friends from Blackgate. They got rifles and they got us pinned down. They got Mike over there killed. Oh man, how are we going to get out of this, Batman?" The guard says to Batman. Batman says to the guard,
Wait here, I got this.
Batman grapples to the top of the ambulance, and then he grapples to the archway, and then he silently drops behind the criminals, and then he takes them out one by one with a sleeper hold. After he was done, then he goes over to the old iron gate and opens it up, and he shouts to the guard,
Don't worry, it's safe now. Go get help for your friends.
Batman continues running and then makes his way to Arkham North as the gate opens up, and dead ahead he can see a bunch of the Joker's men smashing his car. Batman runs up to those crooks and beats the crap out of them. After beating them up and knocking them out cold, Batman says to Oracle on his communicator,
The commissioner's not here. The car's only got damage to the paint job, that's it. But I do have a special device in my trunk.
Batman opens up a hidden compartment in the back of the Batmobile and pulls out an explosive gel sprayer, and he puts it on his utility belt along with several extra cans of explosive gels. Then he goes to the front of the Batmobile, pops open the hood, which is the trunk of the car due to the car being mid-engine, and pulls out a drone shaped like the bat emblem on his chest. Then he activates the drone. Then Oracle says over the communicator, "Alright, Batman, I've taken control of the drone and I programmed it to scan the whole island." Then Batman says to Oracle,
Good. I'm going to go and investigate the area and see if the commissioner left anything.
So Batman activates the detective mode in his cowl, and he looks around the area of the Batmobile, and he sees the commissioner's cigarette case. The cigarette case was thrown on the ground, but the cigarettes were gone. The commissioner must have left it there for Batman to follow, but his detective mode picked up pieces of shredded cigarettes. He was leaving a trail. The detective mode scanned the flavor of the tobacco wild country. This was definitely the commissioner's cigarettes. So Batman follows the trail, and it takes him to Arkham West, the west end of the island. But the door was locked, so Batman was forced to use the explosive gel on a weakened part of the wall, and he made his way to the medical center where the trail stopped. Well, the front entrance of the medical center was guarded by a couple of the Blackgate inmates, but Batman made short work of them. And as he was about to go inside, the door was locked, and he said in his mind, "Damn it." So he grappled up and got in through the roof of the medical center. Inside the medical center, the Batman goes through ventilation systems and crawl spaces, and he hears the Joker overhead berating his goons.
I must say, you guys disappoint me. You idiots can't take down an even bigger idiot in a Halloween costume.
Not even a minute passes when the Joker comes back on again overhead and gives orders to his men inside the medical center.
Alright, everybody, listen up and listen up good. Shoot to kill orders. Any doctor that tries to get out, kill them. And I want you to round up the rest of the doctors, or else you're gonna be in trouble.
Finally, Batman exits the ventilation system and he enters the sanatorium where he hears one of the goons threatening one of the doctors.
Get off of me!
Shut it! Get down there with the others!
Batman wonders in his mind, why does the Joker need the doctors anyways? So Batman gets out of the vents and grapples up to a gargoyle overlooking all the sanatorium. Then he uses detective mode, and detective mode picks up 6 men in the room, all armed with rifles, 3 on the top, 3 on the bottom. Batman had to be quick and quiet about this, and there were hostages in the room. A lot of the doctors were rounded up by the elevator. So Batman went and silently took down all the armed men around until they were finally taken down. Then Batman runs up and frees the doctors, and the doctors explain to Batman,
I don't know what happened. One minute we were doing our evening rounds, and the next, armed thugs burst into the room and took us hostage.
Then Batman asks her,
Did they have anybody with them?
The woman responds back,
They took someone into the elevator. I couldn't tell who it was.
and Batman says to the woman,
They obviously didn't want to be followed. The elevator's powered down.
and one of the male doctors asks Batman,
What about the others? We heard gunfire. They could be dead. We should go and help.
and the female doctor says to Batman, Oh no, Dr. Hellerman went to patient observation. And then the male doctor says, and Dr. Young went to X-ray. Batman says to the 2 doctors,
Find a secure place here to hide. I'll go find those 2.
So the Caped Crusader runs off to find Dr. Young first. He eventually makes it to X-ray, and then he hears Dr. Young pleading for her life and a bunch of the goons threatening her. Batman goes around to a wall and sprays the explosive gel, and then he detonates it. Then Batman runs up to Dr. Young and asks her,
Are you okay, Dr. Young?
and Dr. Young says,
What's going on? They were talking like they were in control. Is it true the Joker escaped?
Batman says to her,
Unfortunately, yes, but not for long.
Then Batman says to Dr. Young,
Go back to the sanatorium with the other doctors. You'll be safe there.
Batman races down the hallway to patient observation to save Dr. Hellerman. As he runs down the long winding hallways, he hears the overhead system broadcasting information. One information in particular was being delivered by Dr. Young, one that interested Batman on what they're doing at the asylum.
Changes is the related to the length of the psychotic. It allows us to strengthen the individual's ability to cope.
Batman thinks to himself as he's running down the hallways, that can't be good. Suddenly, he reaches patient observation, and a bunch of the Joker's armed men were there taunting Cash, who was locked in the observation room with Dr. Helliman and several security guards, and they were taunting them as the room was filling up with Smilex gas, and they were saying, ha ha ha, well, Aaron Cash, want to see how you get out of this one, Captain Hook. The other goon was like, yeah, man, let's see how you're going to get out of this one, Captain Hook. Aaron Cash was saying, I'm going to get you guys when I get out here. I'm going to get you guys. Dr. Hillman says in a panic, oh no, Mr. Cash, the Smilex is starting to fill up the room. We're all going to laugh to death. Then Batman jumps into action and takes down the unsuspecting goons, knocking them out quickly. Then he goes into the control room and he goes over to one of the computer servers. He pulls out from his utility belt a pawn box and he puts it into the USB outlet in the server. The pawn box begins to quickly break down and gain access to the computers. Once it does that, Oracle chimes in. Batman, I've gained access to the medical center. What do you need me to do? Batman says frantically,
Oracle, quickly, activate the exhaust fan in the patient observation room. It's filling up with Smilex gas that's going to kill Aaron Cash and Dr. Helliman and some of the staff.
Oracle says, I got it. I just turned on the fans, Batman. It's starting up. Soon, Batman hears giant exhaust fans starting up and starting to run, sucking out all the Smilex out of the room. Afterwards, Batman unlocks the door to the patient observation rooms, and Cash, Hellerman, and the rest of the staff come in. Cash says, thank God you came, Batman. Oh, damn it. How did the Joker pull this off? Asks Cash. Batman says to Cash,
I don't know, but I intend to find out. Get yourself and the rest of the staff to secured area, and I'll take care of this whole thing.
Then Batman gets on the communicator and tells Oracle,
Oracle, power up the elevators. I have to get down to the bottom levels of the medical center.
Oracle says to Batman, working on as we speak, Batman. Then Batman makes his way back to the sanatorium, and he calls the elevator and goes down the elevator to the lower levels of the medical center. As Batman rides down the elevator, Joker's face appears on the display screen on the elevator, and he says to Batman,
Wait a minute, Batsy, you're too early. Oh well, prepare to face your worst fears. All of them.
The image of the Joker disappears from the display screen, and all of a sudden, Batman hears the hissing sound of gas, and the entire elevator fills up with gas, and Batman begins coughing badly. Soon, Batman begins experiencing auditory hallucinations. The elevator opens, and Batman emerges to the lower levels, where he hears a person begging for their life, calling out a very familiar name.
Please, Dr. Crane, don't do this!
And Batman hears this familiar voice saying, there is no Crane, there's only
The Scarecrow.
Batman sees a observation room ahead of him. He walks up to the observation room's window. He could see the lights were flickering, and there was orange gas in the room, fear toxin. And he could see all the guards and patients in there frantically screaming in terror, attacking one another under the influence of the fear toxin. Then he sees a familiar shadow, and he knew who it was. It was none other than the Scarecrow. And the Scarecrow knew that Batman was there already. The Scarecrow left the room. He was dressed in a very scary Scarecrow costume with an exaggerated slouch, and he says to Batman,
You're here early, Batman. Don't worry. Catch me if you can.
Batman slowly walked through the winding hallways as he was starting to experience visual hallucinations. He was seeing hundreds of thousands of roaches crawling across the ground, up the ceiling, up the walls. He said to himself in his mind, "This is not real. It's not real. It's just a hallucination." Then Batman keeps on walking. Then he hears the commissioner screaming for him, and the commissioner was lying on the ground of the hallway, and he says, "Batman, help me!" And then he got pulled away. Batman quickly ran over, but the commissioner was gone. He kept on walking until he found the commissioner dead on the ground. Batman became distraught. He gets on the communicator and he says,
Oracle, it's the commissioner. He's dead.
But instead of hearing Oracle's voice, he heard a bizarre message saying to leave a message.
I'm sorry, the number you've dialed isn't available. Please leave a message after the tone.
Batman makes his way into the morgue. There were 3 body bags on the exam tables. He dreaded what was inside of them due to the fact that he was under the influence of the fear toxin. He goes over to the first body bag and unzips it and encounters a rather bad surprise. Inside the body bag was the body of his father, the way he remembered it. But the body was pale white and the eyes were clouded over and the head turned of his father's body, and he says to Batman,
Son, why didn't you stop killing us?
Batman steps back horrified. Then he runs over to the other body bag and unzips it and sees his mother's body on there, and she says to Batman,
Son, you let him kill us. You are a failure.
Freaked out, Batman pulls back. He tries to say in his mind that it's just a hallucination, it's not real. It's not real. Then he runs over to the third body bag, and as he unzips it, it was the Scarecrow inside. The Scarecrow lets out a laughter and sprays Batman in the face with another round of fear toxin. Soon, the walls of the morgue began crumbling away, revealing what looked like a storm cloud above and a storm cloud below, whirling like a cyclone, with bright lightning flashing and loud crashes of thunder. And in the center of it was the Scarecrow, 50 foot tall, turning around in circles with an orange beam of light emanating from his eyes. Batman knew he had to find a way to stop him. And then Batman saw what looked like a way to stop him. He saw a shaft of light in the distance coming from a spotlight, like the bat signal. Batman climbed and evaded the Scarecrow who was looking for him. And the Scarecrow says,
Come out, Batman. Where are you hiding? You can't hide from me forever. Come on, Batman. Show yourself, or are you too scared?
Batman eventually makes it to the searchlight, and he was right. It was the bat signal. As the Scarecrow was looking for him, the Scarecrow finally found him, and Batman had pushed the bat signal to shine on him, and the Scarecrow screams,
What are you doing, Batman? What are you doing? No, don't, no!
After shining the bat signal on the Scarecrow exploded in a brilliant flash of light, and everything was back to normal. He was gone. The morgue was normal again, and the 3 body bags on the table were gone. And Batman says in his mind, I hate the Scarecrow. I hate the fear toxin. Then he runs out of the morgue and he goes down the hallway where he saw the dead commissioner. As he arrived to the location, he saw that the commissioner wasn't there. It was a dead guard. Just another hallucination of the fear toxin, but the Batman was thankful that the commissioner was still alive somewhere. Then Oracle chimes in. Batman, come in, what's going on? Batman says to Oracle,
It's the stupid Scarecrow. He slowed me down a bit, but I'll find the commissioner.
Then Oracle says to Batman, I found him. I was able to get into the security cameras, and I see Harley Quinn still has him. They're only just a few rooms away from you, she says to Batman. And then Batman says to her,
Excellent. Now see if you can find the warden or the Joker.
Like and subscribe. The end.